Good afternoon, people. We're just going to go for it. It's afternoon. It might as well be. It's 5:02 and we are on our rundown to our 12 noon movement snack. And today is Saturday the 19th. So if you are playing catch up and you want the noontime snacks, here I am. Here we are on Saturday the 19th. So you may well be in the right place, but if you're not, there's loads more on our Facebook page for you to scroll through. And additionally, if you're accessing us from YouTube, there's absolutely tons for you to choose from there, from our 8 a.m s, 12 noons to 4 p.m s. So literally take your pick. Our first live Alive-Os are coming on now. So good afternoon, Diana, you're the first one in. Welcome, roll up, roll up. How are you doing today? I'm in the bedroom today. It's weekend, isn't it? So all of the others are dossing around the house. So this is the only quiet corner in the whole house at the minute. So welcome, welcome. Come into the bedroom. Here is where our movement snack will be taking place. Christine Lewis is in as well. Good afternoon to you. You are Wales, aren't you? I'm sure you are. Give us some messages. I can just see that people are coming in to watch at the moment. So hopefully my messages are working. Let's have a look. Here we go. Yes, Christine's from Llanelli. Lovely little Wales there. And oh, it's looking sunny where you are. Yes, it's quite fresh and pleasant here too. Di, I'm not Bex, I'm Kels. I thought I'd straighten my hair up this morning. I don't look too like curly locks like our Bex. But no, it doesn't matter because you get just a gooder movement snack. And gooder is a proper word, you know. From me, Bex or Dave, we will always do our bestest for you movement snack attack team. So today we've got quite a few bits and pieces to get a go with. So the theme of today is kind of along the lines of queue bustering, or if you're on a bit of a waiting game, or if you're, this could be used as a during a date distraction, or even a crowbar opportunity. It's all going to be there today. So we'll get some stuff done. Di's not computing well today. At least your internet's working. That's the main thing. Here's Vivian as well. The Dickinson duo are in the house. Hopefully you're not watching. It just says Vivian Dickinson is watching, but hopefully that's a bit of a fib and you're going to get stuck in. So somebody please tell me when it's 12 noon officially and we can launch ourselves into our midday movement snack. Anybody else in and saying hello? Dave's reporting that he will be a catcher-upper later. Oh, you're going out to lunch. And Dave, we're switching shifts tomorrow, aren't we? I'm going to finish your 4 p.m. I need to do my homework on that, don't I? And Dave, you'll be taking my 12 noon because I've got some online training to do from home tomorrow, which might run up and clash. Here's Red Rita and Joy. Good afternoon. Hopefully you're feeling good and well as well, and you're ready to get stuck in with our 12 noon movement snack. Just to say, these are going to offer some crowbar opportunities during a date distraction. So I don't mean a date. It could mean a date that you have whilst talking to friend, relatives, whoever on the phone. It could be that you're driving out for a date with the supermarket queue or something like that. It doesn't have to be like a proper date. So these are your during a date distraction opportunities here for movement snack crowbar opportunity. Queue bustering. If you're waiting in a queue, and we often do that as UK residents, don't we? So this could be something good if you're in a bit of a waiting game, waiting for something to happen. So here we go. Margaret Wood's in from Chesterfield, and Red Rita's ready, yeah, she says. Right, it's a go, go, go. I'm going to swipe the comments to the side, and if you'd like to as well, you'll get the full screen. Here we go with our 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. It's officially 12 noon. You are invited into my Leicestershire. It's not a country house, the Leicestershire countryside, but in my house. We're in the bedroom today because the house is packed out with the other gang that I live with. So we're going to get stuck in here, and we've got some great stuff on the menu for you today. So today is Saturday the 19th of September, and we are a go, go, go. So if you would like to begin your movement snack in a standing posture and position, have a look around you. You may need to take up some support at some point. So I've got a radiator that's perhaps a touch low, but it is switched off. Or my wall, what's recently been papered off. I don't really want to hold on to that. But I've got the door behind me as well, so I can take my pick there. Feet evenly, weight evenly spread over your feet, should I say, and feet about hip distance apart. Now, here in a seated position, if you've not switched on your posture, switch it on, sit yourselves up and away from the support of your chair. If you feel like you can, and you can just stay put in this position to circ boost, if you can, just take some hip shifts, some hip walks towards the front third of the chair. That's a bit better. Have a look down at your feet, see if you can make some adjustments to hip distance and ankles under knees. Everybody focus on the trunk for a moment. Let's lift, lengthen, let's grow tall. Let's engage some of those important postural muscles within the core area, within the centre of your body. And let's open the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. And this is really just building posture, building some changes into your posture so that what we do from here can be done with a much better approach to how your body's being held. Let's get the feet moving. So in seated or in standing, you may begin with our heel pumps, foot pedals, shifting the weight from side to side and lifting and peeling the heel up and away from the floor. So we're moving through the ankles, through the knees and hips in standing. More so in seated, there's not much movement through the knees. They're just lifting up and down, but the joint isn't actually moving. It's more the ankles, and if you can, get a crease across the joints of your toes as well. If legs aren't on your radar, then begin with an arm swing, either one arm at a time or both arms into the mix together. Sitting up tall, lengthening through your body, just to keep a check on what our posture's up to. So this is a movement that comes from the shoulder with pretty much a fixed angle at the elbow. And if you're in seated, not focusing on leg movements today, you might want to switch it up in a minute and come to an arm row, guiding the arm back, including a little bit of a twist on your trunk. I always stumble on my words there, don't I? In seated or standing, you might have brought it into a leg march, which is fantastic. We've progressed this on yourself. If you're ready to bring an arm swing in, have a go one at a time, especially if you're in standing. Bringing both arms in together might throw in your direction a bit of a balance challenge. So you might want to break yourself in easily with this, just adding one arm in at a time. Saying that, if you feel strong, confident in your standing posture to release your support, off you go. Take a go. Work a little bit harder here to allow our arms and legs to move around. There's a real temptation sometimes of sinking through the posture. So keep your posture strong best you can, or even just bring it back down to arms or leg movements. You've got a real big selection there, and there's so much there for you to choose from. It's about choosing what's right for you today. Yesterday might be different, and tomorrow might also be different. So it all matters on what you're able to do today on how you feel. So take a pause there. There we go. I've been chattering throughout quite a lot, so it's taken my breathing up a little bit. It should have done yours as well, but maybe only just enough to require you to do a couple of deep breaths. We're not out of breath, we're not huffing and puffing, we're not feeling exhausted. It's an energising boost here, what we're aiming for. And hopefully you've just felt that. Right, here we go then. We have got some activities here which might offer you a crowbar opportunity if you're out and about and you find yourself perhaps waiting in a queue, or you've gone out for a coffee with your friend, for example, and they've nipped off to the loo and you sat waiting on your own. Or maybe you're at home and you've picked up a phone call, and rather than sitting or standing, there's something you could be doing. So here's a few ideas for you. Let's get on with it. Right, let's start in standing. This is your cue bustering option of a heel raise or a one leg balance challenge. So here, if you're standing near a wall, of course this may serve you better for support. We can have our hands directly in front of the wall or just on the side of the wall, and we're heel raising up and lowering back down. I have done this so many times during going out and about where we have to queue to get into a shop, and you end up standing there for quite a few minutes sometimes. So we've got our posture set up, we've got our heel lift, getting our weight over the big toe and the second toe, and this allows us in that lifted position to keep our ankles strong. If you are in seated, so you may have travelled out in a wheelchair or something like that, or you may have taken a seat within a supermarket, let's say, or if you've gone for a walk around the park, and you might be able to do some seated heel lifts there. Same difference, we can add some little bit of extra weight with a lean forwards with our hands there, and our body tilts forward slightly. You'll notice a difference between how easy perhaps that feels to when you place a bit of weight into your knees, and that the calf has to work then against you leaning into it. So we're creating a bit of extra tension there. So that could be your option in a seated or standing. Or additionally, we can sneak in maybe some bottom clenches. And these are even more sneaky to sneak in, because there's not much physical movement going on, but we are creating some muscular tension within our bum muscles. And stronger, activated bum muscles help us with all kinds of activities. When you're coming into standing and walking, travelling up and down stairs or slopes, etc. Lowering down into seated, loads of stuff requires the legs in their hole to be stronger, and that could just get those switching on. So we've got a one leg balance challenge as well, if you like. So this is something that we rehearse, I guess, in our progress check. So we can lift the leg. It doesn't have to be all the way lifted, it could just be the toes lightly resting down, standing tall. We could bring that into seated as well. So see what you've got there and have a switch around. But I guess if you're doing this in a queue, it's just being aware around what's around you that you could take up for external support if you need it. Could be that you're on the phone, couldn't it, as well? You don't necessarily have to be in a queue. We're in some of these moves. I'm going to turn this way to do my other side. Don't forget the other side. All right, take a pause there. I've called this next one under table, ankle, feet and toes. So we could, whilst we're at the breakfast table, out for lunch, at home for any of our meals, out for a coffee, try and perhaps crowbar something in here as well. So we've got ankles are going to be working in this movement. We're going to have a clamp of our knees together, and then let me face you on the front, that would be much better. Here we go. So feet are forwards a little bit more than usual, knees are clamped together, and we're aiming to sweep the toes, sweep the feet out to the side. So we're now in kind of duck feet position, and then perhaps lift them up. Lower them down again, plant them down to the ground and sweep them in. So as you're doing that sweep, you're really brushing your feet against the floor. Now here on this carpet, it's it's a lovely carpet this, but it's got some resistance that I'm really having to work quite hard against. So the type of flooring underneath your feet could make this movement feel quite different. So we've got those ankles, sweeps and strengtheners. And again, if ankles, feet and toes, leg strengthening, leg movements aren't on your radar, perhaps we could have a go at some bottom squeezes again, or some postural adjustments, just simply coming away from whatever you're sitting in and activating the posture muscles by tucking the tummy button in, bracing your muscles within the centre of your body, switching them on and then having a rest off. Pulling the tummy button in, I'm lifting, lengthening here, rib cage coming higher, away from the hips, pulling in the tummy button but still breathing. You shouldn't be bracing those muscles so hard that you're kind of shivering and turning a funny colour. So there's a real discreet way of crowbarring in some of these movements if you're out and about. Right, we've got a movement here called linked-in lumbrical. Now what do I need? I need a surface, so let's have a look. I'm just going to come closer to the camera here with a book, with my husband's Starling, The Court of the Red Star book. Wow, that sounds heavy, doesn't it? This could be, of course, a tabletop that you've got directly in front of you, coffee table, something like that. So a linked-in lumbrical could be something for you to do, placing your hand onto the surface and then trying to peek your knuckles up by dragging the fingers in and then straightening them back out again. And you could have an extra stretch and open of the hand there, so you can see my fingertips are coming up and away from the surface that I'm using. So this, of course, could be crowbarred in. Have a go now. Even with your hand onto your thigh, you could do this. So your hand could be sneakily positioned under the table as you sneak in a linked-in lumbrical move. And this is a great move to feel within your hands and fingers. So we're taking the knuckles through a range of movements which we use with our gripping, grasping, holding things. Important and crucial to day-to-day activities. Alternatively, you've got a napkin on the table. You could grip and squeeze the napkin. Just focusing on a bit of grip strength there. So have a go. You may have something to hold right now, or you may just have your grip in place, increasing the squeeze there and releasing. You'll feel the muscles within your forearms as well start to fire up. Hold it for a few seconds and then relax. You might want to wiggle your fingers after a few just to release and stretch some of the tension out that you've been creating as you've been increasing your grippage there. And of course, grip is crucial for when we're holding tools within the garden, if we're holding utensils, pens, anything like that. All right. So, quite a variety of stuff there. But what I really wanted to kind of address in today's movement snack was the importance of the take with you movements that we do within any of our movement snacks. So there's not just kind of the selection here that could be taken with you and had a go at whilst you're out and about, when you're in a queue, when you're waiting for something or somebody, or when you're on the phone or whatever. You know, you can do some shoulder circles, couldn't you? You could do some ankle activators or the trunk movements from the morning routine. And if you're feeling brave and you don't mind people turning and looking at you funny, you could even, whilst you're out, have a little run through of those arm movements that we practice in sway and stretch. So there you go. Have a roll over some of those perhaps this afternoon when you catch yourself on the phone or nipping out to drive maybe, or whatever else you're doing. There are crowbar opportunities left, right and centre, up, down, north, south, east and west throughout your daily goings abouts. So there you go. We are done for today. Last day of week 26 is tomorrow, and I'll see you at 4 p.m. Dave and I are on a swap. Look forwards to finishing off with a lovely sway and stretch with you tomorrow. So I'll catch you then. Take care, you lot.